Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use JUnit to automate testing of your code in Java. Last week, we were playing with array stack. We're going to go ahead and create some test cases using JUnit. If you've installed JUnit as we showed you in the instructions available on the Canvas website, then you're ready to go. All you have to do is right-click over array stack, and if you go down to the bottom to Tools, and you can create Update Test. And this is going to create a package or a class here under test packages of this name, array stack test. Typically is the class you're testing, in this case array stack, with the word test added at the end. You want to make sure you turn off this generated code options. The 4 at the top should be off. I have them off because I typically turn them off on mine. And just create it. And you will see that now you have a test class called array stack test that has a test method for every method that the array stack class has. So there's a test push, test pop, test peek, and so forth. Okay. Furthermore, there's code already in here. Now you will see that this code doesn't do a whole lot by default. But let's sort of show you how to run the test cases first, and you'll find out that they don't do much, but let's do it. You go to the array stack test, you right click on it, and you say test file, command F6, control F6. And there it is, all test cases failed, 0% pass. This is awful. There's a problem in the code everywhere. Turns out that the problem is that the test cases haven't been completed because you have the default set of test cases. But you'll see here the name of the test case, test pop, test peek, push, size, and you see a message that comes back. So let's go fix one of them so that we take a look at what it does. So let's work with the pop, or push, sorry. So here's push, it's printing an error a message. I'm going to delete this first line. I'm going to create this array stack to be of string. We need to put these things here. And then I'm going to push into the array hello, because why not? Notice that at the very end here, there's a fail. This is a command in JUnit that basically causes this test case to fail. So I'm going to delete this comment and the fail. Now I got to make some assertions. Remember we talked about assertions in the last video. If you take a look at assertions, you're stating something with confidence, saying that something is true. JUnit gives you a bunch of different commands that are assertions. There's an assert true, assert false, assert null, assert not null, assert equals. Let's play with assert equals. Assert equals. And then it comes the expected value. So I'm going to put hello. That's the expected value. And then we just push hello into the stack. So that means the stack at the top should have hello. So that's one assertion you can do. I'm going to do another one. Assert equals expected value 0 instance dot size. So basically at this point in the code, right here with the line selected, the size of the stack should be 1, not 0, sorry, 1. And that means that if you run this code, if this is true, if that assertion is met, then the test case passes and you continue on. If the whole test is run and all the assertions are true, then that method succeeds. So we can try to run this now. Let's go back here, say test file, and we come here and we have, oh, we have an error in the code. We have to capture this. Let's do this here. Add the throws clause. The peek method throws an exception, so we weren't catching it, so that's a mistake. Let's go back here again, test file. Now take a look at this. The test push, which is the method that we just played with, has a green check mark and it passed. So now we have 16.67 of my test cases passed, meaning 1 out of 6. So let's go do a couple more things here. Let's, just to be sure, here's another one. Assert equal, assert true, or assert false. false, instance is empty. So at this point, the stack should not be empty. So is empty should return false, and this should be correct. I'm going to put this before the hello. Now this should fail, right? Because the stack should be empty. So I'm going to try to run this test case, just see what happens. Now take a look. Push failed. And it failed saying that in some point in here, line 27, the assertion failed. So if you look at line 27, you see that that's the case. You go, oh, wait, it's not supposed to false, it's supposed to be true. Assert true. Before I push anything, it should be empty. After I push something, it should not be empty. So let's go back here. And if you click this green arrow here, it will run them again. So there we go. Now push past. As you can see now, this passed. Let's go do one more really quick here. Let's do pop. Okay, so we're gonna put a string type here, put the empty brackets here. I'm gonna delete this, and this is gonna be string, and we're gonna push something instance. I can't type. I'm gonna push hello again, and now I'm gonna pop it. Now, what do we expect when you pop something? Well, in this case, it better be hello. And what are you gonna get is whatever came out of that result statement here. Okay, and again, this messages here at the bottom are by default unneeded. Now you can add a few more things here. Again, assert false, assert true, instance is empty, assert equals 0, instance size. Then we push something, then these two are different, right? Now this is assert false because it's not empty, and the size should be 1. Now what happens after we pop? Actually, let's copy this up here. After we pop, it should be empty, and in size should be 0. And let's make sure that the result that we capture from that is that. So let's go back here and say run my test again, and you'll find that now pop has passed. Okay, so as you see, you're creating a series of conditions that exercise your code. It's important to know how your code is structured because you're testing your own code in the array stack, right? So if something special happens after you add 3 things, you should have a test case that adds 3 things, and then you check the conditions. But the key here is that you're understanding the states in which your code exists. When you create a stack, there's nothing in it. When you add, there's one more, and so forth. And then you express those conditions using assertions, using at least these 5. And there are several other asserts that you can use. As an exercise for the listener, you should be able to complete the other test cases and do that until you run this and all of them pass. Okay, and that is it for tonight. Thanks.